All right, it's a brisk Saturday morning, 1 degree Celsius up here in Ontario, Canada. And I had a million things to do today, and suddenly it's all changed because last night, driving around town, I blew a brake line. Actually, I blew a brake caliper on the back of this F250. So I could pump up the brakes and get a little bit of stopping action, enough to make it home, but maybe you can see, maybe the light's not too good, but yeah, there's brake fluid all over the inside of that tire and a little bit on the inside of this back tire. So that's my job for today, is to get into these brakes, get this truck rolling again. I need this thing for stuff. Got it. When you have a sledge, you can do pretty much anything. Okay, I can't go under the truck. I gotta stay out on the edge because I don't have a jack stand under it right now. Maybe I should just go ahead and get one. Yeah, I think I will. All right, safety first. Okay, so here's my problem inside that caliper there. So there's only 2 bolts hold that on. This rotor is shot. I got to get rotors too. Well, there's an extra many billions of dollars, but I have kind of neglected this. I knew it had to be done. The mechanic was doing other work on this truck, and he said, you know, you need new brakes, right? And I go, oh yeah, I know. I'm gonna get home and get right on that. That was about 3 months ago. So anyway, they're just terrible. That might be a bit of a cooling problem right there. The fins are completely clogged up. Like, really? These are not, I'm sure these aren't old. I just can't quite remember when I changed them. Anyway, let's carry on. Oh, that's tight. Boy. There we go. There it goes. Might even be able to spin that off by hand. Yep. Okay, probably gonna have to get a bit of a pry bar to get that off, so. Oh, it's coming off pretty easy. I don't think there's any brake pad. Oh boy. Yeah. Gee, I wonder why this blew out. I lost all the brake pad on the other side, and it just started wearing away at the actual piston. This piston's broken too. I can see a chunk out of it there, but this one, yeah, I just scratched that one all to heck, you know. There it goes. Yeah, so that one was fine. Rusted out on the back. Like, how does a brake pad rust out before it wears out? I don't even know. Let's just give her a reef. Make sure I don't whap my hand into anything. Not so bad. Oh, this one's tighter. There it goes. Okay. Okay. It's loose. Got a bit of a pry. Off she goes. All right, next. God, hopefully I can get this rotor off. Probably going to be hammering on it for a while. Oh boy, that sounds solid. Get a few things out of here. But boy. There it goes. dandy. All right. As you'll see, it's drum style parking brakes that I'll never touch because I've had bad history with parking brakes seizing up on me. The cables, you put them on and then they won't release. Then what do you do? So yeah, we're just gonna leave that alone. Gonna run out and get parts. Gonna need everything. Rotors, pads, calipers. Gonna be expensive, but off we go. Whoops. Kind of took off down the road with no license plates. Let's best get that on there. Hey, it's 2020. Odd things happen. Well, I'm back. Traffic this time of year is a bugger. Oh, I guess I already popped that. Well, there's $700 worth of brake parts. Strewn about. Gosh. Oh no. I guess it's all you can get. I thought I paid extra for good stuff. Like that. That's what I thought I paid for everything. Pro Series pads. No. No. Yeah, I'm sure that's going to be the best quality. But maybe that's just the world we live in now. These are calipers. I don't even know what I'm buying anymore. I just hand over cash and you know, hope this stuff lasts. But an invaluable tip the guy at the parts counter gave me. I never even thought of this, but this might have been my entire problem ever since I've owned this truck, is these flex lines. Oh, you can see that. He says if these are collapsed on the inside, you can push brake fluid through them to apply brakes, but the fluid won't come back. There's no pressure pushing the brake fluid back through the flex line, so your discs will stay locked up. So here's the tip. Go drive around the block, come back when this is all done, and pop the bleeder screw. If brake fluid is pressurized out through the bleeder screw, like squirts out, you got to change your flex lines. And you know what I should have just done? Now that I see how simple and short they are, I should have just got flex lines too. I mean, just say, hey, if you got them, throw them in. I mean, it's easy to do with the wheels off and everything. Now what'll happen is if I got to change them, it's going to be laying on the ground under the truck with the tire on. What was I not thinking? Anyway, I don't have them. I don't want to go back today and get them. But it'll be a neat test. How about that? Maybe it's better I didn't get them, so I can test that out. This little system there, going around the block, loosening the bleeder screw, and seeing what happens. But let's get all this brand new stuff on this truck. It's gonna look awesome, all shiny and clean. Get rid of all this crap. Hey, here's something interesting. These cores for the old calipers, worth 180 bucks for the two. I'm so totally taking those back. I mean, I would have just thrown them out if I just never would have known. So yeah, make sure you bring them back. Almost 200 bucks you're getting back for those. Hoy, nice. All right. Okay, I got to be careful because I think the two calipers are different. Yeah, one is for the right side, one is for the left side. Instructions, don't need those. Oh, okay. So, not sure if you can see it up there, but you have to put this tag on the appropriate core, the old piece, so that they don't get mixed up. So, will do. Pretty sure this one has been returned because it's got it's got everything attached to it here, whereas the other one, it was all in a bag. Yeah, so the other one has the bleeder screw in there, but it's got a rubber cap over it. So this one doesn't even have the rubber cap. So yeah, somebody's had this open. It probably wasn't right for their truck. They've thrown away half the stuff. I better do a check. This might have to go back. So that cap's gone, but what, I mean, this rubber, I'll just have to put some tubing over that or something. It's supposed to have a rubber protective cover on it. It's not there. It's just unusual that this bolt is in there. Why is it not in a bag like this one was? They better not be damaged. I see it does have the crush washers, so that's okay. You'll notice the tag isn't on this one either. It's been taken off, so this has been returned and resold. Yeah, well. It's got brake fluid all over it. So somebody has actually used this. Okay, so here's what I decided to do. I'm not gonna put this new caliper on today. I'm gonna put the new one on the driver's side. I'm gonna take the two old ones off. Hopefully I can plug up the brake line somehow so that it's, you know, not running overnight. But I'm going back for the core charge anyway with the old ones tomorrow. So I'm just going to take this new one back, and I'm just going to explain, look, I'm a little leery about reusing a part someone else did. So if I'm going to pay for a new part, I might as well get a new unused part, right? So hopefully they got another one in stock and everything will be fine, but I just won't be able to finish this job today then. And you know what? So what? I got other things to drive. All right. So I'm going to get on the other side and go at that. But maybe it's best to, while it's mounted to something, take that banjo bolt out. Be an odd size. Oh, no, that's great. Should have done that on the other side, but I'm just afraid I'm going to leak out all my brake fluid. But if I catch it in a clean pan, I can reuse it. You know what? I'm getting new flex lines anyway. I think I'll just pinch those off with vice grips. Okay. Okay, so yeah, it's pouring out of the caliper, but it's not coming out of the line, so that vice grip is holding it up just nicely. All right, gone. And then the bracket. Get these clips off of here. I have to clean this all up with brake clean. Look at that. That brake pad is like brand new. Hasn't been used at all. So this side hasn't been working. These are seized in place. They're not, you can just tell by looking at them, they haven't moved. I mean, they're still back in when they were new. So what's that about? Oh, I'm so changing these flex lines because this brake hasn't been used at all. And yet still it was leaking brake fluid somehow. Just garbage, I think. That's loose, so 3/4 is too big and 11/16 is too small. That's just great. But just on this side, the other side was fine. Oh, whatever this is works. I probably went out and bought this special just for this. Of course you can't read anything. Oh, 18 millimeters, that's what it is. Holy, they're definitely on there. Okay. This rotor's, I didn't need a new one. It's like brand new because it never got used. Should come right off, I would think. Or not. awful lot of noise in that rear end. I'm almost certain that that pinion is not adjusted, that there's slop in it. I should not be making noise like that. Oh yeah. Maybe the U-joint's loose. Oh yeah. That rear pinion is super loose. Holy, how is it not blowing itself out of the truck? I got to get that in. I don't have a transmission and differential guy in London yet since I lived here, so I'll probably run this back to Stratford. Here we go. So, I'm going to spray this all down with brake clean in there because, like, look at that, it's just swimming in brake fluid. I'll probably just use the new one, but let's get this cleaned out. So for any mechanics are watching this, you might want to mention, I actually blew the rear yoke on the differential just after getting off the 401 on a side street in Woodstock. Pulled away from the side of the road and boom, the yoke broke where the U-joint was holding it in, and I thought, wow, that U-joint must have just loosened up over time. Why? I've never seen a U-joint come loose. Anyway, if you were a mechanic replacing that yoke, would you not check for play in the rear end? Like, is that not, wouldn't you want to find the reason that yoke blew up on me? Because I'm thinking, well, that's why. I'll find out from my trusted transmission differential drivetrain guy that I got and report back. Okay, I'm quitting for the night. I'm going to get new flex lines to put on and not worry about it until I have those on. Everything's going to be new. Tomorrow. Okay, it's the next day and it's windy out, so I'm pretty sure the sound on the GoPros is going to be just obliterated. So, what do we got here? Maniac. Slow down. Okay, go faster. Try to look like you're having fun. Crank it. Look out! Alright, should be fine. Anyways, as I was saying, it's the next day and it's windy as heck out now, so I'm going to try out this little wireless doodad that ships the sound over to this little doodad onto my phone, and I do see a sine wave, so I suspect it's working, but this is kind of just the way I'm going to try it today. It's a test. I don't know if it's going to work or not. Maybe this little foam thing is just going to be all obliterated in the wind too, but I'm going to try. I mean, if I got to get this job done, so I got to update you. I talked to the parts counter about the difference in these two calipers I bought, how this one was all like with plugs and rubber boots and stuff, and like the banjo bolt is in its own bag, this and that, compared to this one where everything was just sort of sitting in it. And you know, I took the bolt out and it was all like, they're not full, but there's brake fluid in there, and there was no separate bag for it or anything, and no rubber boot. He suggested that no, everything will be fine. They checked their records, it hasn't been returned. That's just the way this one was built. Okay, they are two different part numbers, they're in two different color boxes, so they're just different. You know, who knows where these things come from. He suggested it's going to be just fine, and I have to agree with him. He seemed like a pretty cool guy and was very helpful and knowledgeable, and both of them, you know, there's a couple of guys came over to talk about it, and you know, I assured him that I'm not complaining about anything. I just wanted to get their input, so it doesn't hurt. You know, that's kind of the advantage to go into a parts store rather than, you know, a parts counter at a department store, is you can go back the next day and actually talk to the guy, and they'll talk parts. They'll talk car parts with you. Not like you can go back to a big store that just has a car parts department, and you know, it's going to be a different, you know, person every day. Anyway, I like to spend a little bit more and go to an actual parts counter. There's I'm fairly new to London, but I'm learning, you know, where my places are to go, and I'll keep going back to this place over and over again now. I have nothing but old cars, and they always need stuff. So yeah, that's where I'll be going. So let's carry on. Let's put this back together. Another thing I bought while I was there was a one of the flex lines. And he was good enough, because I got a hold of it. Oh, I don't remember what side this was, but he was good enough to actually take a pen and write right rear right on it. So again, that's the kind of service you get at a parts store, an automotive parts store. And there it is. That's what you get for 25 bucks. Not too bad. I've got another one on order for the left side, and there's actually a third flex line on these trucks. Comes down the middle, I'd imagine, and joins to the hard lines mounted on the axle. So I'm going to do that one too. In fact, I'm more suspicious of that one than I am of these outers as being a problem with brake fluid being allowed to return, the pressure being allowed to return away from the calipers and releasing the brake pad. So, oh, buddy, why am I just, every single thing I gotta go and rescue before I even do my job? Come on! Come on over there where I threw the spider. Okay, so I think I think the first, again, it's not a very nice day. It's been raining, but we're trying to get outside and enjoy the what's left of this summer anyway. It's fairly warm, 12 degrees, so I'm not in my snowsuit today like I was for half the day yesterday. Truck stayed on the jack stands all night, so I'm pretty sure that they're safe. Let's get to it. Next, I get my finger out of there. So I'll start one, and then I'll use the other one to get the right socket. I kind of tidied up last night. Now everything's put away-ish. Right. Oh yeah, 18 millimeter. See, now that one doesn't fit. I do have an odd bolt on here. I knew it. It's 3/4. Okay, 3/4. But the other one, 18 millimeters for some reason. Probably because I lost it at some point and just grabbed something out of my toolbox. That'll do. Okay. Gotta get those clips. We'll get 2 out. I'm pretty sure the rotors also came with new clips, but hey, the more the merrier. So I'm pretty sure it goes this way. Yeah. That. Oh, they're not gonna. There we go. They just clip in. Oh, it kind of clipped in, but won't really stay. So I'll put one on the bottom. We'll use the same one. Well, we'll just slide in and stay there by gravity. This one I'm probably gonna have to do with the brake pad at the same time. So, okay, so there's little spring clips here that will hold this in, but it's a little tricky. You got to hold the bottom one, and then the top one should just snap in. There. Now it's going to be even harder to do the inside one, but it's the same story on the other side. So you probably won't see that unless I like move the camera or get the other camera. Okay, let's try this. I can see, oh, the light's good. I can figure out what's going on now. Bottom clip's in place. Top one, maybe I just need to tap it with a hammer. Or my fist. Don't really know why it won't go in. There. That was easy. What do you say? I don't even know if the camera was on. But anyway, that's in. It's held in place. The outside one will be much easier. Hoi! Now, these will be a thing to talk about too at some point. When I put in the caliper on, I'm pretty sure this flat side has to go against the flat side on the caliper. Some people might forget and put it on like that, and it's going to get all jammed up and stuff, and when you tighten it down, it's not going to be cool. So we'll worry about that when we get there. Got a good view of the flex line that I'm going to replace. Hopefully these come off nice, otherwise I'm into cutting a line and reflaring a new fitting. But I should have got this light a long time ago. This is so much better. Okay, I'm out of here. There we go. Nicely done. I think we were supposed to put a little grease or something on here. It didn't come with grease this time. But I think you're supposed to put some here where the caliper pistons will actually touch so they don't seize to, like, get rusty and seize to the pads. Okay, let's go. Okay, if I put the top one, I can figure out the bottom one a little easier. There we go. That's better. Okay, I want to make sure the camera picks up this, what I was talking about, maybe get the light a little better, where this tab needs to be turned to fit into the slot, and it's not. There it goes. Now it is. So I'm going to hold this little accordion shaped boot here. I'm going to hold it out while I turn the bolt in. Snug it up finger tight. Okay, that way I know that that little washer, we'll call it, with the flat face, fit its slot right, because these have to move like that. And you sure don't want that nut, that bolt, turning later on. Now I'll get that sorted out here too. You can see it actually much better here. You can see the machine face of the caliper, and you can see a little washer fitting in there, like it won't turn. Okay, snug. All right, we're gonna take a break because it's starting to rain. This will give me a chance to go test the sound on this thing. Chick, chick. How's this? Is this how the pros do it? So anyway, about peace in the Middle East, what I was going to talk about, so dune buggies are cool, right? This is what happens when you wait a day in Ontario. But it's okay. I have a fix for this. Just wait another day. Well, that worked out nicely. Much better. Okay, folks, I'm going to finish this brake job, hopefully today, because the weather's beautiful. I got to get this truck fixed. Busy as heck with work, but I just got to take an afternoon off and get this done. So stick with me. Just want to mention something real quick. I just got off YouTube. The Kraken has been released. Oh, folks. Okay, it's a little windy again today. I'm not rigged up with my mic, but I threw a rag over the camera. Let's see how that works. Hopefully you can still hear me. Might be a little muffled. Let's try it. All right, brakes. Let's get the pads on here. Need something to sit on. That'll do. Inside brake pad first, right? All right, this is, I'll try to do it from outside the truck without going under it. Oh, I don't have my glasses on. I can't see. So it's a maybe not. There. That was not hard at all. How come the other side was so difficult? I don't know. But I don't want it to pop off again, so I'll hold it in place. Look at that. Oh, it's not on. I missed. Done. Voila. Nice. There's my phone, where it is in my pocket. Try to sneak away from work, but they keep sending me emails. Now, I should really get these bolts anti-seized up first. Okay. Okay, before I tighten it up, make sure, first of all, that I have my socket and that those little washers are lined up. Ow, that really hurts the knee on gravel. Holy, I can't turn that out by hand. There we go. Okay. Right there. There we go. Hold it out. I probably got this turned the wrong way. I'll do it by hand. It's kind of hard to do finger tight when your fingers are got grease on them. Okay, you can see that washer fit in there nice. This one looks like it's already in place. You can see it better, so I don't need to do it by feel. I can do it by sight. Tighten that down. Oops, of course it's backwards. Exactly the right torque. Uh-oh. Make sure that washer stayed in place. It did. What was that? Just the socket slipping off. Yep, that feels fine. I thought maybe I broke the nut off, but it would have been a pretty weak bolt. All right, I think we're going to be into the flex line. So, hey, looks pretty easy to get it off the axle mount. Let's see if we can move this guy a little bit. Wrong. Now, I'll unsnug this mounting bolt. I don't think you can see it through the camera, but you know, it's just trust me this one time. Maybe you can see it through here. So there's a mounting bolt here onto the axle. Let me get a socket for that one. Whoa. Oh, I thought that was the right size, but it just had so much dirt on it. It fit the dirt fine, but not the socket. BRB. Yeah, let's break it free, see if it's going to cause me any problems. No, that's perfect. So, oops. Just snug it back up again a little bit. And then work on that, shall we? Go get my brake line wrench. It's bending the mounting bracket. Here we go. What about that? How about that? But I don't have free hands. Let's try that. Give that a No, it's, there it goes. Uh-oh. Might be twisting the brake. Oh, it's stripping the nut. No, it was on tight. It just won't. Oh no, it's not. It's turning the nut. My bad. All is well. All right, so I'll just turn it until it starts like leaking, I suppose, and I'll go get the new line ready, and I'll get this plug out of here. Get the crush washers ready. All right, so hopefully you can see this okay, but you'll recognize the bracket and everything's going to go down in there. It's the camera. Oh my god. Okay, let's take a look at what I'm going to do here. You can see this end is going to go to the line I just broke free. I want to be able to put that on quick, and I want to be able to put this on quick. So sorry about the wind, it just kicked up all of a sudden. Hopefully this little rag I put on the camera is working okay. And then it's going to go real quick down onto here and be held on, first of all, a crush washer on each side of the part, so it'll go through. Let's just mock it up. It's going to go on like that with the other washer on the underside, and when all that gets crunched on down in its mounting hole there, those copper washers squish up tight and don't leak any brake fluid. That's all there is to it. Alright, so let's get the brake line loosened up. With the wrench. And I see a little bit of moisture there. Now, let me just use this bucket. So it's not pouring all over the driveway here. It's turning tight all the way out. I'm a little nervous about this brake line, of course, as it's probably just as old as the flex line. I don't know. I've never changed rear brake lines. It should be almost off. But I won't quite take it off until I get the axle bolt loose. Oop, I think I might have just broke it loose. Okay, so it's going to start leaking right away. Okay, away with that one. In with the new one. Not happening. I think it's going in. Yep, it is. I think. Might as well just quick start this bolt up here to hold it in place. Come on. It's dark, I can't see. There we go. So much for being prepared. There we go. And just right size. It is. Good. No more leaks. Actually, let's do this one first. I don't think we need to over torque that. All right, back to this leaky mess here. Hopefully this is, it feels like it's all right. It feels like it's not cross-threading and it looks straight. Sometimes you think things will go in finger tight and they just don't. Going all the way in, that's good. Oh, it just snugged up right at the end there. Nice, I think that's plenty. I do. Okay, what else What am I forgetting? Nothing. All right, let's get on the other side. Oh boy, I might be breaking something here. Oh, something went. I think my socket broke. I don't see a crack in it. Oh yes, I do. There's a crack in it right there. Wow, nice stuff. So, does that say snap-on? It does. I broke a snap-on. 10mm socket. Well, that's I think lifetime warranty. Pretty sure. No. Holy. This is not what I expected at all. Oh my God, that's tight. What I might do is just cut it off. Just cut it off and use what's left over to attach a zip tie for now. I know it's not right, but all right. So what I'll do is I'll leave it on and I'll put the new one on now. That would be tight. So this one, there we go. That's not so bad. This one worked out a lot better than the other side. About there. Okay, put it in. There we go. Lost my wrench. Oh, that's it there. Oh, it's already coming out. It's already coming. You know what? I'm gonna maybe run this up on the top. Holy! I put the bolt up on top of my leaf spring so I wouldn't lose it, and then I probably lost it. Okay, so through like that. Oh, another crush washer on the inside. Okay, get that going. Just a oily, brake fluidy mess here. There it goes. Hopefully I got a socket out here for this size, or a wrench or something. Probably not. Okay, drips a little bit, yeah. No, no. Come on, maybe this one not even close. Really, that's the one. That's it. Eesh, for the ratchet. There goes my bandana. Crush those washers nice and snug, but what'd I do? I fucked up. I got the wrong washers on or something. Because it's still dripping like a bugger. Is it coming from... No, I need new crush washers. No, it's still dripping like a bugger. You know what? I think there's a hole in that caliper. And now I'm just losing brake fluid like crazy here. So that sucks. There is a flaw to this caliper. Oh man, what a waste of time. I had it back for return too, but they said it would be fine and they didn't have another one. So that's it. I got to put the old line back on here just to stop it from leaking. So here's my thought. You see this little divot here? This little this little divot here? Is it possible that's a hole? Is it possible that's a hole right through? Why won't the crush washer seal that up? It's just, oh. What if it was, no, that's tight. This is nonsense. You know what? I bet that's supposed to be machined flat, and it's not. Well, back to the parts store. Damn it. Well, it was suspect all along. Oops. All right, I'm guessing the surface is not machined flat. It's just a rough casting still. I bet you anything a mill was supposed to come down there and flatten that out, or that's a hole there. One or the other is not allowing a good seal. So that's the end of that. No farting around. Back to the store. Well, maybe going to a parts store isn't any better than going to a parts counter in a department store. I mean, I got anti-seize all over this thing, and they're not gonna like that. I'm gonna have to go clean it up in the bar salt tank. All right, I'm back from the parts store, and he agrees that this surface should have been machined so that the washers sit flat, not just a casting like that. But then on the way home I thought, well, yeah, but this is a remanufactured caliper, right? Which means this part would have been new originally, I would think, on a vehicle, and then when it gets turned in, it becomes a remanufactured one. So how could that have ever been used, not machined? How could this has ever been on a vehicle? Unless this is like brand new, this part is brand new, this part of the casting. I don't know. I don't even know where parts come from anymore. I don't know what's what. I just know, what are the odds that I would get one that's lacking the machine work necessary to seal up when I put the flex line on. It's going back, new one's coming in tomorrow. There goes another day. All right, I'm whiny. It's 2 days later. Yesterday was a beautiful day, 16 degrees Celsius. Would have loved to get this stuff done, but the part never came in until late afternoon, and I had other things to do. So now we are the next day, and it's 6 degrees. Yeah, at least it's not snowing, so let's get this thing on. As you can see, I had to leave the box there, but this one is the same as the good one I had on the driver's side. Has a tag on it. Yeah, everything's wrapped properly. Got the cap where it's supposed to be. I don't know where that other one came from, but what a joke that one was. All right. Well, I'll leave that in just for a second. It's got the proper boot on the bleeder screw. Looks like we're doing all right. Got new crush washers and a banjo bolt. It's got guides for the brake pads. All right, most importantly, let's get some light on the subject here. Oh yeah, that's the way it's supposed to be. Okay, so you see the grooves there? Washers will crush down onto that and seal that up nice and tight. That's the way it's supposed to be. The other one was not. Crazy stuff goes on out there. Crazy stuff. Let's put this on. Just so you know, there's corresponding grooves machined into the flex line mount. All right, I'm just going to cut off that old brake line, the old flex line, I should say. Okay. All right, just zip tie the new one to the old. Not a really big fan of the way this is like twisted. I'm wondering if maybe I should have, I think these have 45-degree angle options on this block. Maybe it should have been turned up so that it comes out. I don't know. Just, maybe they're okay. Maybe I'll just not worry about it. I don't like being under this truck, but while I'm here I should check my shocks. The mounts are good. One time a shock mount came off and it was hanging down 2 inches from the road before somebody told me at a red light. I'm going to gravity bleed them first, and then I'll get the little lady to come out and pump the brakes up for me. So if anybody's doing this for the first time or watching this for tips, first of all, I'm just a backyard mechanic. I'm not a real mechanic, so you know, take everything I do with a grain of salt. But if you're just learning how to, say, bleed brakes or change pads or something, the idea to bleeding the brakes after they're done is to get the air out of the line. You know, that new flex line went in there and, you know, it's full of air. The reservoir inside the caliper is full of air. So the way we get that out, the highest point in the caliper reservoir is up here. Take this little boot off. Holy, it's the hardest part apparently. And then get the right size on there. Probably this one. No. Probably this one. No. Probably this one. No. It's none of them. Alright, it's an unusual size. It must be metric. Okay, I brought a 10 and an 11. I'm thinking it's 11. And I'd be wrong. It's 10. 10 millimeters. Everything's 10 millimeters, and it's pretty sloppy on there, but it's gonna work. Okay, crack that open. Don't need to take it out, of course, you just loosen it. And I honestly kind of thought we might, oh no, we wouldn't see any fluid coming out of there yet, because now that's just letting the air out, and it's just dripping. If I go put my foot on the brake pedal, it'll get this moving along, but before I do, I'm gonna check the reservoir on the master cylinder, make sure it's not low for any reason, and throw in some brake fluid as I use it during this bleeding process. All right, yes, I should have known that I would be down some, because I was going through brake fluid on the, trying to get the truck home, so you may not be able to see that, but the max line is right on top of the tank, and I am down to there, bottom of the wrench, so half the reservoir is gone. Let's put some in. Okay, let's try not to spill any, but it might happen a little bit. There we go. Okay, it's up to max now. Cap is here. Go check and see if that's leaking out the back yet. Probably not. Oh, it is. Look at that. So that's what you would call gravity bleeding, and then you just tighten this up and it stops. That may very well have got all the air out of the line. Okay, so I'm going to put this hose that's into the jar, just through a hole in the jar. I'm going to put that on the bleeder screw, going to loosen it off, and actually I'll just take it off and loosen it a bunch. Put that back on. Now we'll see it starting to come down this line. It's a lot of line, holy. Okay, so now I should be able to see that from my truck. At least I'll see this part through that light over there. So what I'm gonna do is just set the camera down. Well, just so you know, I mean, it's pretty obvious what I'm gonna do. I'm just gonna put a pressure down on the brake pedal, which goes right to the floor right now. But let's see the air bubbles coming through the line there? I'm gonna keep pumping this pedal until there's no more air bubbles coming out. And with any luck, that was all there was. But let's see what we can do. Should be able to see from way up here. Oh yeah. Okay, I'm pumping the brakes and you'll see fluid going through the line. It's nice and solid, no air bubbles. You can maybe see right down into the jar where the air bubbles are going out into the jar. Well, that's just fine. I mean, you can just clearly see through the line with the light shining through it that that's solid brake fluid. There's no bubbles in the line. So I'm going to close this one off and call it bled. I know it looks like this caliper is loose, but it's supposed to be. It's supposed to be. So it rides loose on there, just squeezes the pads together. That's what stops your truck. Going to be kind of exciting to have back brakes again. All right, gonna run. Let's put this back on so that the hole there doesn't get gummed up with road debris, because you probably have to bleed that again, especially when I get that third line done. But it's a pretty easy process. Okay, you're going to be a little harder on this side because I won't be able to see it. I won't be able to see it from the brake pedal. But let's loosen this guy off. I better put the hole. There we go. Let's do a little gravity bleed here. Just let the air flow out on its own. Eventually I'll get impatient and hook this tube on. All right, getting impatient. I just gotta go push the pedal. So I'm not sure if you can see, but this line is completely full of air right now. Not a drop of brake fluid in it. So we should see it fill that line in a second here. Okay, can you see the little tiny air bubbles in there? We're working to get rid of all of those, so let's keep going. I'm gonna have to go back and forth, and then I'll get some help from in the house to do this proper. Let's see if it drips out of here. Oh, it doesn't. Why not? Oh, it is. Okay, so we're gonna get this brake pedal pushed up. What you'll do is like 3 or 4 quick pumps and then hold it to the floor, like not with the weight of a concrete block or anything, but just put some pressure on it. So pump it up a few times. 1, 2, 3, and hold it down. Just hold it there. And brake lights work. And let's see if we get some air come out of this when I crack the bleeder screw. Yep, some air did come out. We close it again. Okay, pump it up a couple more times. Then hold it down. That is no air. Perfect. That's what we want to see. Put that cap back on. This side's done. Okay, pump it up. And hold it down. Okay, pump it up. And hold it down. Okay, I saw no air coming out of that side, so we're good. We're done. I'm gonna go test drive this truck. Thank you, dear. How much brake fluid did we use? Okay, bottom of the wrench is down there now. Top was at the top, bottom is there. So we used up a little bit, but not too much. Let's top that up. That'll do it, she's full. Make sure that the little plunger inside your cap is pushed back in. As you use brake fluid, this boot will pull out to fill up the airspace inside the reservoir. So make sure it's pushed in. We're good. All right, let's get this crap cleaned up now. That's better. Let's put the wheel on. Done. Okay, she's back on all fours. Let's go for a drive. You know, I'd really rather be out cruising the boulevard. Oh yeah. But sometimes you just got to do your chores. And of course, you know you need a big F250 to haul 3 bags of leaves off to the dump, right? Let's get out of here. Ooh, she's a busy day at the dump. All right, so this has been a pretty long drive to the dump and back, so I'm kind of anxious to get the truck parked back in the driveway and just take my hand and feel the rim on both sides on the back there. And they'd be pretty hot if the brake calipers were sticking. It'd be nice if there's a little bit of heat in them, then I would at least know they're working, but the brakes feel fine. I mean, this truck has never been this good. Like, the pedal's high, it's got lots of power. I'm kind of thinking I've been riding around on front brakes only for about 6 years. All right, the big test. Oh. Nice and cool. How about the rotors? Can I reach in there? Yeah, I feel heat on them. Oh, nice. Just getting my fingers way back in there and feeling the disc with my fingernails. Come on, right side. How's this side? Oh, nice and cool. If I reach in, yes, I feel heat. I feel heat on the rotors for sure. Okay, I've got me my 10mm wrench. I'm gonna hop underneath here and check out these bleeder screws. Okay, so I'm just gonna crack it a little bit and see if fluid, you know, squirts out with force, or if it just kind of drips out here, or if anything happens at all. Of course, here we go. All right. No, it's just oozing out, so that's a good sign. No pressure there, so that means the caliper's not stuck. Okay, I don't see any other drips anywhere. This side looks okay. Let's hop over the other side there. All right, I really am not a big fan of laying in the driveway anymore in my golden years. But first check is no drips hanging off of anything. In fact, this tire is dry. I did notice quite a bit, or not quite a bit, but there's some brake fluid on this other tire sort of dried, but that's how it was. I don't think there's anything new, but I'll check that. I really should have cleaned the tire off first. Oh, I'll know if it's leaking. I will, because I'll see it dripping down onto the tire later. But right now, things look awesome when they're all shiny and new, which will last for about a day. Let's crank this loose and see what comes out. Is it going to be high pressure or just a drip? Just a drip. That's fantastic. That's all I wanted to see. Crank that back up, get the boot on. This problem has existed. I mean, this brake problem has existed ever since I've owned this truck. I'm just going to keep driving for a while and keep testing. They're working fantastic right now. I've never had back brakes this good. I just assumed that the brakes were just lousy in an F250. I've read how bad the brakes are in F250, but you know what? They're great. I had no issue at all with them now. It's coming home from the dump, fantastic. And then the temperature on the rims is perfect. Keep in mind, I've been hauling that thing around too, with 2 Harleys in the back. All right, I'm gonna call that a success. Hopefully that helps you. I mean, that problem with the caliper, like who would have thought? So there's a thing. I'm kind of thinking this tip on the flex lines worked. I think that tip I got about bad flex lines, when they look good, they're not leaking, I think that worked, because like I said earlier, I've never had brakes this good on this truck, and I'm quite excited to keep trying it out. Over the next week, I'm going to monitor the temperature of those rims really closely. If I find that they're grabbing again, it's scalding hot, or there's brake fluid dripping on the tires, then I'm afraid it's going to be above my pay grade. I'm going to have to get it in for a mechanic and just work a couple hours overtime to pay for it and just get her back on the road safe and sound. So glad you tuned in. One thing I really don't like about YouTube is everyone's got to like cry for subscribers and stuff. It's just, to me, it's just kind of lame, but subscribe. Cheers, folks, from Ontario.